Have you got a need for speed? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Indy 500 moments. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we take a look back at some of the most iconic and groundbreaking moments in Indy 500 history, from heart attack-inducing finishes to women breaking the gender stereotypes. Number 10. Robby Gordon's 1999 last-minute loss to Kenny Bräck. It's been nearly 20 years since Robby Gordon's heartbreaking loss at the Indy 500, but the memory likely still haunts him to this day. With only a few laps remaining, Gordon ignored the final pit stop, missing a chance to refuel, so that he could leap out in front of the pack. The notoriously stubborn Gordon fought hard all day, but his aggressive strategy would come back to bite him. Heading into the final lap, Gordon ran out of fuel, giving Kenny Bräck the opportunity to swoop in and capture the title. The phrase, "so close but yet so far," has never seemed more appropriate. Number 9. Danica Patrick's best female finish. In a competition that has been dominated by men since it began way back in 1911, this was the breath of fresh air for women all around the world. Just like her groundbreaking predecessor Janet Guthrie, Danica Patrick broke down barriers when she entered the IndyCar circuit. She quickly became a global inspiration for girls around the world to pursue their dreams and smash gender stereotypes. Her crowning achievement came in 2009, when she placed third in the Indy 500, the best female finish in the history of the race. Without a doubt, her legacy will be immortalized forever in racing lore. Number 8. AJ Foyt wins his fourth Indy 500. It could be argued that this race is among the most important and iconic in Indy history. Many IndyCar aficionados will remember the drama, the spectacle, and the unbelievable achievement of AJ Foyt becoming the first person to claim 4 Indy 500 titles. Foyt trailed Gordon Johncock for the majority of the race, but thanks to an engine malfunction in Johncock's car, he cruised his way into the record books with his first Indy 500 win in 10 years. Not to mention, Foyt had the honor of racing alongside the first woman racer when the aforementioned Janet Guthrie qualified and changed the game for the better. Number 7. Rick Mears rips past Michael Andretti for the win. In an expert display of racing acumen, Rick Mears pulled off a move only a veteran could to win the 1991 Indy 500, the fourth of his career. It would be his last Indy 500 victory, but the most memorable of his career. Not only did he enter the record books alongside AJ Foyt, but he did it in style. Michael Andretti led for the majority of the race and seemed to be heading to the promised land, but his sizable lead over Mears was slashed due to a flat tire. Later, Mears took advantage of closing the gap and made a dangerous power move to the outside, bursting by a stunned Andretti. Number 6. Sam Hornish Jr.'s historic split-second win. In the 2006 edition of this world-renowned IndyCar race, no one could have predicted such a nail-biting display from Sam Hornish. After the rookie Marco Andretti surpassed his father Michael late in the race, it seemed the Andretti curse would finally be lifted at the Indy 500. Unfortunately for the racing family, Hornish was there to ruin the party. Hornish and Andretti jockeyed for first all the way into the final stretch, until the unthinkable happened. Hornish squeezed by Andretti with 450 feet left to go. It resulted in an insane margin of victory of 0.0635 seconds, which remains the third closest of all time as of 2017. Number 5. J.R. Hildebrand crashes and Dan Wheldon wins. Talking about heartbreaking defeats, here's another final lap meltdown. Back in 2011, J.R. Hildebrand was poised to claim the Indy 500, and in his rookie season no less. All the 23-year-old had to do was take the final turn and cruise into victory lane. Instead, he would come out of the race having learned an invaluable lesson. Never let your guard down. Hildebrand took the final turn too high while passing a straggler, lost control, and smashed against the wall. Dan Wheldon, poised to finish second, ended up claiming his second Indy 500 title instead. Meanwhile, Hildebrand was left in utter disbelief as his car slid on 3 wheels into second place. Number 4. Al Unser Jr. crashes into wall and Emerson Fittipaldi wins. You need to look no further to understand the definition of being neck and neck. Emerson Fittipaldi narrowly led the race all day, but Al Unser Jr. hung close behind. Unser finally took the plunge on lap 195, surpassing the Brazilian with a savvy move to the outside. This time, Fittipaldi would be left chasing, but not for long. On the final pass, both drivers were literally side by side and inches away from each other. Feeling the heat, Unser tried to use his momentum to speed by Fittipaldi. Instead, he clipped his back tire and spun out of control. In a true show of sportsmanship, Unser shot Fittipaldi the thumbs up as his opponent took the checkered flag. Number 3. Jim Rathmann wins a seriously tight battle. The late Jim Rathmann, who passed away in 2011, had the honor of winning one of the most epic battles in Indy 500 history. He also set a then track record at 138.8 miles per hour. Imagine. Today, the average speed is between 155 and 166 miles per hour for the winner, and the track record is a dizzying 237.5 miles per hour. Rathmann only won one race in his career, and it was on the biggest stage. Locked in a heated duel with defending champion Roger Ward, the two exchanged leads a record 14 times. Eventually, Ward noticed too much wear and tear on his front right tire, forcing him to slow down and conceding the win over Rathmann. Number 2, Gordon Johncock wins by 0.16 seconds. Gordon Johncock makes his second appearance on our list, this time for finally claiming the checkered flag. During the 1982 Indy 500, Johncock duked it out with one of the best in the business, Mears. The two were basically zoned in from the start, with Mears holding the lead for 77 laps and Johncock for 57. And it was during the final 40 turns that the two engaged in an all-out war. What made this race so enthralling was the way Mears was able to close in on Johncock and the expert use of final pit stops by both teams. Johncock just barely managed to hold on, winning the race by 0.16 seconds. Number 1, Al Unser Jr. defeats Scott Goodyear. The last time Al Unser Jr. was in a battle this tight, he ended up crashing into the wall. This time around, though, Unser made absolutely no mistakes. What seems like a tale as old as time, Michael Andretti led the race for 160 laps before his engine failed with 11 laps to go, opening the race up for an Unser Goodyear showdown. Little Al held off the menacing Goodyear, who wouldn't give Unser any room to breathe. With no traffic in front of them due to a collision-filled day, the two sped off into a breathtaking finish. Unser kept Goodyear at bay and held on for the victory by a remarkable 0.043 seconds.